This here is the Wikipedia page for the median household incomes for the different ethnicities within America. And as we see here, Asian Americans are at the top, and then everyone else is below. And then if we can get into the specifics here, and looking at all the specific types of Asian, Indian people are making the most. What is up with this? To get a better understanding of what's going on here, let's look at CMU's admission statistics and the people they're giving degrees to. 44% of them are non-resident aliens. In other words, they're international students on a visa coming to America to study there. And this is one of the top institutions in America. White people come in second, and then just general Asian Americans, they come in third. And so a lot of these international students are actually Asian. So this means anywhere from 60 to 70% of CMU's student body is Asian. What's going on, guys? D-Bot here. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why Asian students consistently outrank American students, or just white students, black students, Mexican students, whatever. All the different students that come around the globe. Why do Asian students, why do they make it the best? How come they end up making the most money, and how come they end up with the best grades and the most extracurriculars, and they're just unstoppable? Now, due to my close proximity to Carnegie Mellon University, which is 40% international students and then an additional 20% Asian students, I kind of get to see a glimpse into why this is. So in this video, I'm basically going to be breaking down the cultural differences between Americans and just general Asian Americans, and then also Asians from different countries, and kind of what the cultural differences mean for academia and the professional world for all these people. In the most general sense, the American culture does not encourage hard work. Americans generally just focus on the 8-hour workday, and then they come home and they watch some Netflix and they chill out, which is also why we have the largest entertainment economy in the world. Business like Netflix and TikTok, it's all booming in America because people don't work, or at least not as much as other people in Asian countries or of Asian backgrounds with a different culture. So fundamentally, American culture does not encourage hard work. And we're seeing this with Gen Z being fired across the whole board in tech. It's bad. Like, a lot of Gen Z people are getting hired and they're just useless because they don't work. And so what does this really mean? Where does this come from? Well, let's take a look at the shrinking middle class of America. I feel within the middle class, the group I grew up in, entertainment and just kind of relaxing and not being overly ambitious is kind of the norm. In high school, I kind of just came home and I played video games because that's what I did. That's what everyone did. But not Asian American kids. Not at all. People with that Asian culture, man, they would go to school, grind out all day, and then they would come home and do another 8-hour workday, whether that was going to Kumon after school, learning additional math, learning additional science, learning what they needed to do to skip a grade or two, skip ahead of math class. They were in all the clubs, they were doing sports, they were doing everything. And so a lot of these Asian American kids that are, graduating and becoming extremely successful, they've been programmed from a young age to work. And this is in contrast to the average white American. The average middle class white American is going to college for a degree. At least 50% of them, they're going to college for a degree that they're never going to use in their entire life. And they're taking a bunch of classes that have nothing to do with their future or their future job at all. 50% of Americans, they're going to college for a degree they're never going to use. It's not useful to them. And so this is in part why the middle class is shrinking. Not enough people are going into STEM, and they're also going for useless majors that are impossible debts to repay, like paying for this tuition. So the middle class is gathering incredibly large debts that can never be repaid. But Asian Americans aren't doing this. Asian Americans, they're going into STEM, they're going into economics, they're going into finance. So Asian Americans, they have it good in that regard. They know how to work hard and they go to college for the right thing. And let's just look at the Japanese 996 system, for example, where the norm in Japan is that you work 12 hours from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and you do that 6 days a week. And if you're not willing to work those sort of hours, you're just going to get replaced by someone who will. And so that's not me praising that system. I think that's pretty toxic. That's not good. But it goes to show that people in Asian countries, they know how to work, and they know how to work pretty damn hard. And this is something that's normalized. Like, you have to work hard to succeed. In America, it's just, you grow up, you have your heated water, you have all the clothes in the world, and you kind of get spoiled. You hang around your friends that don't do anything with their lives, and then you don't do anything with yours either. So to dive further deeper into this, I'll give my experience of being on my typical majority white middle class university, and I'll contrast that with somewhere like Carnegie Mellon, because I've been to both. Your average Friday night and Saturday night on on an average white American college campus. People are out drinking, the girls are all dressed up, going to frats, doing stupid shit, engaging in hedonistic bullshit. Again, huge entertainment culture, economy. Lots of time is spent with other people. There's always people walking in groups, kind of not really doing anything. And so that's essentially American culture. You kind of hang out with your boys and you don't really work, and you kind of go engage in entertainment, right? You go to your shitty little bar and you buy a $20 burger and you go home. Like that's how it is. You watch the football games and make the football people rich. And so for years I've been saying this is problematic, this is disgusting, Americans shouldn't be this way. Everyone I've ever known can back me up on that. I don't think this is a good way to live. Doing drugs and all this that like is normal for the average white American of my age. This is seen as normal. But on a campus like Carnegie Mellon, it's a little bit different. It's a bit different. With its, 24% Asian population plus 44% international from China. A lot of people are walking alone. They don't travel in groups. There's no girls getting dressed up on a Friday night or Saturday night to go to a bunch of frats and get absolutely wasted. It's not a thing. You never see someone on their phone just scrolling. You never see it. It's never seen ever. It's like unknown to that culture. And these people, they're incredibly focused. And I study there on the weekends, and these people, there's this one girl I see every single time. She comes in at like 8, 9, 10, and then she doesn't look up from her laptop until it's like 8 or 9 p.m. She literally pulls 12-hour days studying. She'll get up and go get like something to eat, but then like, whatever. So there's a culture of hard work and focus. There's not none of this, oh, I'm going to study for an hour and I'll take a 2-hour break and then I'll come back and do like 15 minutes. That's what your average white American kid is doing. At a typical school, I'll tell you that. But international students and Asian American students, it's incredible. The culture is so different, and this is why they're performing better in school, because they focus and they know how to work hard. And so what Asian Americans do, and just Asians in general, something they do that I like is that, when you're investing $200,000 into getting a college education, you would think you'd spend 99% of your time studying and working towards making that education worth all the money you're putting into it. But Asian Americans, just Americans in general, white Americans, this generally isn't the case. You just don't see this. You go on Carnegie Mellon's campus, no one's running around doing nothing. They're all studying. Everyone's locked in. On a typical, state school campus that's majority white, you're just not going to see this level of focus and commitment to the work, at least out and about anyway. And so Asian culture, they kind of just get it. They're more in tune with modern society and what it demands. Modern society demands work. It demands you be focused and you be really good at something. And Asian Americans get that. And that's why I love them. And this is why they're beating out white, black, Mexican, everyone. They're beating everyone because their culture is so damn good. It encourages focus and hard work. And so what's really the comparison between the average white kid at a state school and someone like an international student going to CMU? The average white American student at the typical state school is going to party their youth away. They're going to do drugs. They'll inevitably end up poor with a useless college major and a debt they can't repay, and probably make up a large part of the divorce rate because white people are really bad at staying in relationships. Because I don't know why white people are so bad at this. But on the contrary, an international or Asian American student, they're going to be exercising, focusing on school, holding good social relationships. They're going to exceed in all these categories, and thus they're going to exceed professionally. They're going to beat you because they're putting a lot more work in than you are. And so essentially the fundamental difference between me and someone who is of, Asian American descent or someone who's an international student, the difference between them and me is so big. Because when I was 4 years old, when I was 6 years old, when I was 8 years old, I wasn't advocating for myself to get put into another year of school, to skip a year, to be taking summer classes, to be doing math after school. How would I have known about that? Exactly, you don't. And my culture and my family, it's just a typical middle-class white American culture, man. You raise your kid and your kid has fun and plays outside, and that's that. In the Asian American world, there's some of that, but the goal is there. There's a focus and it's developed, and it leads to a lot better outcomes. And so yeah, that kind of sums it up for this video. Asian Americans are really, really damn good, and those international students are really damn good too. There's always these stereotypes like, oh, they're quiet and they're weird and they're not like Americans, but they're just better. Just because they have a different culture and their customs are a little different than the average American doesn't make them weird. Those are the things that make them really damn strong, and those are the things that make them beat you in GPA, extracurriculars, getting those opportunities. They win. And maybe it's your time to start copying them. Why are you sitting on your ass doing nothing? Get up and go do something. You got to be pulling in. You got to be pulling up these long study hours on the weekends. That's what I got to do. That's what I've been doing. Yeah, that's all. What can we learn from Asian Americans? Don't drink, don't party your life away. I've been saying this for years, and I thought I was crazy because everyone around me would drink their youth away and smoke their youth away and smoke their health away. But Asian Americans, they weren't doing none of that, man. They were locked in. They were focused on school, right? So if you don't know what to do in life, just do what an Asian's doing, man. Literally, like, man, Asian Americans, they got it figured out. And then those international students, they're so focused. They're so focused. I don't know how they do it. My brain's certainly not on that level of sitting down and doing physics for 8 hours straight, but I guess I can work to make it get there. So yeah, that's all for this video, guys. Hey, if this was helpful, if this was insightful, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.